So for today, in Fun in the Lawn, I'll be installing this FLO 2020 fertilizer injector. My plan is to use it with my water sprinkler. My lawn's about 4,500 square feet in the yard here, and I've been successful using a traveling sprinkler. I have this Orbit traveling sprinkler set up that on the high setting it takes about 5 hours. It covers from the road to the sidewalk, so full coverage, and it actually gives very uniform distribution. I've tested that in one of my other videos. So the idea is if I can, while I'm watering, I can also do fertilizing. I'll kill two birds with one stone, and it'll get a nice uniform distribution and watering in of the fertilizer at the same time. It's pretty easy instructions for putting this together, so I won't go through that. I'll just show you the end result. Things you do need to install is one of these vacuum breakers. I got two styles here. I'll probably use the brass one. So I have a bunch of these 5,000 square foot lawn fertilizers, and so if I put the entire amount in the jug and spray it at a rate that's equivalent to about 500 gallons, which is what I know I'll probably use based on my sprinkler doing a little over 3 gallons per minute, and so that would be close to what, 3 times, so 200, close to 200 gallons in an hour. And if I run for 2.5 hours, that's 500 gallons. If I look at their chart, the gallon rating there to be empty would be setting it at setting 2. If I want to dilute it so that it takes 1,000 gallons to empty, that would be setting 1, and 2,000 gallons, so that would be like a quarter of the rate. Put it on the slow. So I think I'm going to start off with the slow, and then each time I water the lawn, it'll get a little bit of a feeding, not the full amount, which is this 26.12. It'll get a quarter of that if I put it on the slow setting. Does that make sense? Let's give it a try. You're supposed to fill it up with water before you add the liquid, so I filled it up with water. Now I'll add the liquid fertilizer. Alright, I got the tank all installed. Tops on, tubes on, flow control on, inside and out. Got it set to flow rate number 1, which is 1,000 gallons, should empty the whole thing. There's the Venturi siphon tube, water flowing from right to left. So at the other end of the hose, we've got my traveling sprinkler down there. It should be all set. One thing I should mention is this is what's called the non-pressurized style, meaning you can run it with when the water's flowing, but you can't have it connected up to your house pressure permanently. So just kind of keep it in line with a hose that's actually having water come through it. That way you won't get excess pressure built up inside, and the tank will survive. The ones that are made to sustain house pressure constantly are much more expensive, and they have a much thicker plastic container. But this should work perfectly for what I'm trying to do. Let's give it a shot. I had to shut it off. I don't know if you noticed, but I actually have the wrong line into the top there. The problem is I took the tubes out. I had it correct originally. Took the tubes out, filled it up with the fluid, screwed the cap back on, but then it had been rotated 180 degrees, so I had the wrong tube going in. So the out tube is supposed to be green with the clear, and I have it opposite. So I'll fix that. Then we should start seeing some of the color of the fertilizer come out. It's better. So it has a little green insert there, and there's green also on the mixing venturi. So you got to have green to green, then you should be good. I'm going to go turn the water back on. Just starting to flow, so I think what happens is on the inside it takes some water feed, fills up the entire container, and only when it gets totally full will it start flowing out. So we should start to see the fertilized water coming out this tube here. Alright, I temporarily put it on the fast setting just so I could start to see it pick up a little bit quicker. It does have some air bubbles in it, which I'm not sure why that's happening. Maybe that'll clear. It could still be filling up with water. Even though I filled it up to maybe here, it still has to draw a little bit more in before it gets completely full. Then we should see pretty much a steady stream of fertilized water going down this clear tube. Alright, that looks like it. It's a nice clear flow coming through now. So I have the arm to be able to get right up to the edge here, get good irrigation, and then as it goes across the yard it's spraying right to the edge, a little bit into the road, but at least it gets good watering right down to the curb line. So I don't mind losing a little bit on the edge there, as long as it gets good watering. Have a good day.